The Saga of Ragnar Loðrok, Chapter 7. A little while had passed, and their marriage was good and full of love. Then Kraka knew herself to be pregnant, and it progressed until she gave birth to a boy child. And the boy child was sprinkled with water and given a name and called Ivar. The boy was boneless, and there was cartilage where his bones should have been. But when he was young, he grew so strong that none was his match. He was of all men most handsome in appearance, and so wise that none was known who was a wiser counselor than he. It happened that more children were granted them. Another son they called Bjorn, the third they called Hvitserk, the fourth Rognvald. They were all great men, very valiant, and as soon as they could learn them, they became well versed in all the Ithradir. And wherever they went, Ivar had himself borne on staves, as he could not walk, and he had advice for them in whatever they did. Eirik and Agnar, Ragnar's sons, were such great men themselves that their like could hardly be found. And they went in their warships every summer, and were renowned for their harrying. And then it happened one day that Ivar asked his brothers, Hvitserk and Bjorn, how long might pass by while they sat at home, rather than having their own renown increased. And they said that they would be willing to act upon his advice in that, as it is in other things. Ivar said, "Now, I want us to ask to have ships prepared for us, and troops enough to man them. And then I want us to gain glory and gold for ourselves, if it is possible." And when they had decided upon that plan amongst themselves, they told Ragnar that they wanted him to get them ships and veteran troops who were experienced in the seizings of treasure, and were well prepared for anything. And he gave them to this that they asked, and then, when their troops were prepared, they traveled from that land. And wherever they fought with men, they got the best of them, and got for themselves both many troops and much treasure. And then Ivar said that he wanted them to continue on until a more powerful force was before them, and thus they might test their prowess. And then they asked where he knew to find such a force. And then he named a place, which was called Hvitbear, where pagan sacrifices were held, and many have sought to win it, but none have been victorious. And Ragnar had come there, but had to fall back without having achieved his goal. Are the forces there so great, they asked, and so hardy, that there are no other difficulties? Ivar said both that the thronging troops were great, and the place of sacrifice was powerful, so all that had been gone against it had not been victorious. And then they said that he should advise whether they should set a course for there or not. And he said that he desired greatly to discover what might be the greater, their own hardiness or the magical powers of the people there. And thus ends Chapter 7.